work submitted, I'm sure when you read other people's work, you were pretty inspired कि यार इतना अच्छा लिखा है, मैं भी ऐसे करता हूँ. True or not? Tell me honestly, tell me, is the class evolving in this or not? Amazing things, your points, if they were missed by someone else has included them, and all those things are really very inspiring, great work. Deep ecology, Guyanism was also there. Naidu, I don't know what was the error. I think you put a JPG file, was unable to open that. Others, I looked at all your submissions, really inspiring and good work. So सभी एक से बढ़िया एक कर रहे थे, so you people are doing so nicely. So I have been looking at that. Good work. And everyone carried their own element in this thing. And this is what I want to tell you, that every answer is unique. Every answer is unique. True or not? So is your submission. So congratulations. Let's. I'm sure when you looked at your work, I could see some people were working for the first time. बहुत अच्छा submissions था. Very powerful submissions. Yes, Anjali. Anjali has a doubt. So we are on our last class on this thing. What do we call this? We are on the last class in environment. Principle of ecology, human ecological adaptations, and man's influence on global regional ecological changes have been done. Ecosystem, their management and conservation. We've been looking at this indirectly through the philosophical meaning. This is more in the philosophical. Okay. Anthropocentric, biocentric, ecocentric. Sustainable development was done, environment policy law was done. Today we are talking about environment, hazard and biodiversity. Yes. So this is what we have, and what is my question? Let me look at my question. I want to read out something for all of you. So while writing yesterday's answer, I felt like my answer, the GS answer, would be on the same level. I did not feel mine like an optional answer. Please help. So Anjali, I will help you. Don't worry. So now the question is that people are working on this. So let me look at this. So Anjali's answer, I will take that. So everyone, your questions are there. This is the syllabus. This is what we are going to do. Are you comfortable with that? First thing I wanted to talk about this. Next thing, everyone, please pay attention to this. There's a message which says, sir, good evening. I asked you before about the GS environment classes. So somebody asked me, sir, GS environment classes, will they be done or not? And will these classes make up for the GS classes? So remember, GS, we have 25 environment classes. Here we have 5, and you can look at it. We are more concentrated on the philosophy of it. So this person says, I asked you before about the GS environment classes, but at that time I was thinking I will not be able to do two classes with my job. So already doing optional class and the job, so 2 classes were not happening. But now I have started taking that GS class also after stretching some time. And those classes have really helped me a lot, because there were many aspects which were missing. Before this, I was feeling a void in my preparation after going only through optional environment classes. So I am saying that I am offering all that is needed to get good marks in environmental geography, but through different ways. So the factual part, various current affairs related things, they can be dealt well in 25 classes. Now people are willing to sit for GS 25 classes, but we can't have 25 classes coming on environment alone in an optional course. Otherwise the optional course will unnecessarily drag for 6 to 8 months. Do we get that? So if for some reason, this is a general announcement for all of you, if for some reason you have missed the GS geography or GS environment classes, not the geography, GS environment classes, make sure I'm teaching, I'm covering there a lot of things. Make sure you do them. If not today, can you plan them? Say you are in a job, beach mein, jab bhi time milega, whenever you're preparing. So I know you people will be looking at these recordings again. So I am sort of recording this message for you people who are sitting live, for people who are listening to me in recording, and for people who would be listening to me in future, that there will be times where you will need to look at my profile and look at my courses. The course is called Comprehensive Course on Ecology and Environment. Make sure you do that. That will help you. Do we get that? Okay, perfect. Now comes the question, sir. I wrote the answer, and how to make this answer geographical. So now who will tell me this? ये तो पूछने वाले तो पूछते रहे. You know, there are people who are graduates in geography. They ask me, how will geography help me in my career? So quickly tell me how to make this answer geographical. जी अंजलि ठाकुर ने ही डाला है. अंजलि ठाकुर ने आप देख लीजिए, सबसे ऊपर लिखा हुआ निबंध लिख रखा है इन्होंने. Environment education is fallout of industrial revolution with ever increasing population. Environment education happened. We have sites. We have Montreal. So whatever she knew has written. And now she says that this is GS. है ना? तो करते रहो, ऐसे बहुत से बच्चे कर रहे हैं. So others who have been attending the classes, can you tell me how to make your answers geographical? Lily saying, I am losing my confidence because not possible to do 2 classes because sir, I love to do my homework. Okay, perfect. So losing confidence, not able to do 2 classes. Perfect. Sir, while I was reading slides again, I found a lot of content. Can I read only those which you underline in these slides? Priyanshu, आपके सामने slide है, slide आपकी आप देख लो. If from underlining you understand, that's okay. My intention is to highlight the important ones only. Yes. So how to make the answer geographical? जल्दी से बताओ. I will tell you. Definitely, I tell you how to make the answer geographical. How to make the answer geographical? So everyone, first of all, reproducing information mugged up or from PDF is not answer. One. Second, fitting all that information in boxes is also not answer. अंजलि, ये आपने किया है और आप करते ही रहोगे, कोई रोक नहीं सकता है अगर वो आपका आंसर है, उस पे नाम अंजलि लिखा हुआ है. तो व्हाट डिड यू डू? Vomit, 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 vomit. Box में vomit, vomit, vomit. Get that? Another one. Vomit, 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 vomit. What are we vomiting? Information. And then you yourself feel it is GS-like, or maybe, I don't know whether you felt it, your friends would have told you, or probably you give an example, or you went to teachers who have told you, ये तो GS जैसा आंसर है, वो फंडा आप दे रहे हैं. Do we get that? So आपने अपना वो आंसर देख लिया है. That is what we are saying. So इसमें कोई maturity नहीं. अब मेरा क्वेश्चन ये है, अंजलि, आपने और कितने लोगों के आंसर देखे? How many answers did you see on this? Yes. How many answers did you see? ये तो ग्रुप पे ना, none sir. So why did you not see them? मतलब मेरा आंसर चेक करो और मेरे वॉमिट को वो करो, कैसे करेंगे? तो टाइम कम मिलता है. So I'm just saying very very clearly, there are people who have done this answer. You will find such samples and you will find people who make a difference. Time कम मिलता है तो I have given 10 minutes to the class. Let me save the time. Let me start teaching. Everyone wants a teacher's evaluation. You just want a teacher's evaluation. You have no intention to improve. I was so inspired looking at the answer. मैंने कहा बहुत अच्छा लिख रहे हैं, सब कुछ बहुत अच्छा लिख रहे हैं. Why not? मेरा पढ़ लिया आपने, सबसे लास्ट में इन्होंने सबमिट किया, एक डाउट डाल दिया, सर जरा बताइए इसको कैसे ज्योग्राफिकल करें. So I reserve this answer. So I'm not giving this answer to anyone today. I reserve this answer. I am really not interested in this. Please read others' answers. Get that? How to make answer geographical? It is really heartbreaking and it is, I feel cheated that people are submitting कि मेरा आंसर चेक हो जाएगा इसलिए मैं सबमिट कर रहा हूँ, जो कचरा करना कर दो. How to make the answer geographical? I've spent a lot of time on that. I am really reserving this because this is not done. Get that? चलिए, तो आज का टॉपिक करते हैं. आज का टॉपिक है, आज का टॉपिक इज environmental hazards and biodiversity. Every day giving 15, 20, 30 minutes to those doubts, making a difference to them. All you can understand is just submit and मेरा चेक हो जाएगा. Come on यार. ठीक है? So there are three philosophies. There are three philosophies of looking at environment. One is anthropocentric. One is anthropocentric. One is anthropocentric. So what is anthropocentric? Anthropocentric is man is powerful. Man needs nature and natural resources. Okay? I would say this is absolute brute possibilism. Then what do we have? Then we have biocentric. What is biocentric? Let us work for the nature. Life-centric. Life is important. All life. All life. And what do we have in this? In all life? We are looking at whatever is important when we're talking about biocentric. So we had those ideas of deep ecology, Gaianism. Now my question to all of you is that deep ecology and Gaianism sort of doesn't work. Why? Because people are not aware of this. People are not aware of this. True or not? Many of you did not know about Gaianism. Many of you did not know about deep ecology, though they are there, biocentric. And it at times sees humans as villains. True. That human beings have caused all this degradation and all that, so humans are the villains. We must do something about that. This is also happening. Is everyone with me on this? So humans are seen as a villain in this. Now we have a third one. Anthropocentric, biocentric, and third one is ecocentric. What is ecocentric? Ecological systems. True or not? Man in the ecosystem. Man in the ecosystem. Do we get that? Man in the ecosystem. Now everyone, how do you get to know about this? How do you get to know about this? जल्दी से बताइए. That there are 3 approaches. You did not know of it. Who told you about these approaches? Quickly. I told you about these approaches. Yeah. Okay, perfect. Now tell me, what am I doing? Isn't this environment education? Isn't this environment education? Yeah. So if I am writing on environment education, and if I'm saying that making people aware about the relation of man and nature, which is the prime task of geography, moving from anthropocentric to an ecocentric world will require some training. And environment education precisely does that. True or not? होता है ऐसा? True. Now, if that is there, has my answer started on a geographical note or not? Has my answer started on a geographical note or not? So this is how you can make your answer mistake. But what is it? The sad part is कि मेरा answer check कर दो. तो इसमें मुझे लगता है सईदा ने अच्छा काम किया. Yes, सईदा did a good job. I think बहुत से लोगों ने यहाँ पे डालने की कोशिश की. Lifelong learning process that leads to informed citizenry जो हमने slide से देखा, उसमें बहुत सारी चीजें हैं. People have tried to bring in a lot of activities and education. जो वर्ल्ड में हो रहा है, when you are showing it in the world, can you show it on a map? What is happening in the world? Can you show it on a map? That can also happen. So I'm looking at how people have worked on this. But फिर बात वही है ना, free में check करना. So you know what? So there's a student who's giving the interview. So she called up and I was talking to her. So I said, she sent me her interview also, sample interview, which was happening, mock interview video. I said, look, your name is XYZ, and in front of your name in Telegram, I have, remember my coding system, I have written good and sincere. Yes. आपके नाम के आगे मुझे पता होता है कि what kind of a student you are. I've already coded. There are some students who are only curious. Yes. There are some students who are only for teachers evaluation. They have no this thing. Non-serious भी मैं लगा देता हूँ. So make sure you don't do that. Because फिर मैं आपके आंसर पढ़ना बंद कर देता हूँ. You lose that. You lose that opportunity of getting a genuine feedback from the teacher. So don't submit for that. Get that? And where I want to see the progress, I also see that. I also look at making a difference to that. Say for example, Naidu, I could not open that. So not that I've not seen all of them. I've seen all of them. Polami, I've seen yours. I liked it. Saida, I liked it. I think Brijesh का मुझे अभी दिख नहीं रहा. Brijesh, have you submitted it? Brijesh का अच्छा था. Yes. So there were things which stand out. And when we get those ideas, we put them कि यार ये student सही जा रहा है, next level पे जा. अब यहाँ पे we have talked a lot about this. So environment philosophy, if we bring in, हाँ तो ब्रिजेश ने कहा not the environment education, दूसरे वाला कुछ submit किया. Whatever you're submitting, so once you are in this right thing that this student is serious, I will be looking and giving feedback to all those things. But once I get to know that this is non-serious, just last में भर दिया और ये वाला काम कर रहे हैं, it doesn't make a difference. Is everyone okay with this environment education? Can we bring this? This part is not in GS. Does the GS student know about this? Everyone, does the GS student know about this? No, he doesn't know about anthropocentric, biocentric, or ecocentric approach. So this is purely geography. Yes or no? And where in geography we call this as perspectives in human geography. Perspectives in human geography. So we started with a perspective. Another way which we can do is we can talk about a spatial event. So say for example, many of you have written the Tbilisi and all those things where it started. You can use that also. And the map. These are the things which will make your answer geographical to begin with. There are many tools which will be coming, and especially in human geography, we'll be doing that. And an invitation to all the people who are serious. There is a group called Challenger Group. 5 students are there from the previous batch. They kept on performing throughout the group. I know them, and especially I'm supporting them for their prelims and mains. They are writing answers also. They're getting them evaluated also, and all those things. Very clear people who are serious and sincere. The teacher is standing for you. Get that? आपको टाइम नहीं मिलता किसी चीज के लिए, मेरे पास भी टाइम नहीं है. ठीक है? Very clear on that. चलिए. So where are we? Biodiversity, environmental hazard करें. So what is the hazard and what is the disaster? Hazard and disaster. Any difference between them? Hazard and disaster. Any difference between them? Can I say hazard is a potential threat? Hazard is a potential threat. And what is disaster? What is disaster? A hazard which has gone out of control. Yes. Hazard turn into reality. Is everyone okay? Are you okay with that? Tell me something about some of the hazards and disasters that you've heard of in the world. Hazards and disasters of the world. Hazards and disasters of the world. Quickly think about them. Quickly, everyone. World. I want to think of it. Some examples that come to your mind. Some examples that come to your mind. Bhopal gas tragedy. So Bhopal gas tragedy is a disaster. किसी ने बोला जापान सुनामी. मेरे ख्याल से इंडियन सुनामी ज्यादा इंपॉर्टेंट है यार. Indian tsunami. So these are all disasters. What a hazard then? Well, hazard. What is a hazard? Coastal area. Coastal area. Can I say industrial area? True. Can I say installation industrial area? Can I say hazardous or say waste dump ground? True. What is agriculture hazard? I don't know what is agriculture hazard. What is agriculture hazard? I don't know what is that sort of. Tecto-volcanic hazard. So sort of बस सुना से आगे बढ़ो ना. I am to asking you to think, no? I am to asking you to think. If you don't think that, how will it be there? आपने सुना कहाँ से सुना? Tecto-volcanic hazard. Where will it be? Where will it be? Plate margins. Plate margins. Yes, so hazard. Industrial area waste dumping is a hazard. And when it turns into chemical and biological weapon, so as I said, like there can be a nuclear, chemical installation. And what can happen? An accident is a disaster. An accident is a disaster. An earthquake is a disaster. Earthquake is a disaster. Waste dumping. What can happen? Waste catching fire. Yes. Waste getting into food chain is a disaster. First of all, did we understand the difference between a hazard and a disaster? Are you with me on this, everyone? Okay, that's clear? Okay, perfect. Now let us look a little further. Let us look at some of the slides which I have for you. Lack of food turns into hunger. Can we call it a disaster? भाई आप सोचिए, समझिए, and you will answer the question after the topic is over. है ना? One thing is clear. One thing is clear that the class has least respect for brainstorming. अपनी brain पे कोई भरोसा नहीं है. We have least respect for brainstorming. Yes, we can vomit, and we will say, sir, how to make it geographical. Brainstorming will make it geographical. So everyone, there are two types of disasters: natural disasters. Flood can happen, drought can happen. A severe drought can lead to famine. So, sir, lack of food, hunger is a disaster. Madhukar, is hunger a disaster? Is hunger a disaster? Famine is a disaster. ठीक है, थोड़ा पढ़ेंगे, थोड़ा सा पढ़ना शुरू करेंगे. नहीं पढ़ रहे. Somebody said, imagine what kind of conversations I'm having. Students are saying, sir, who will read the slides? Is the red one okay? Okay. Who will read the PDF? Who will read the PDF? Just dictate certain things. Two things that just dictate certain things, and whatever you dictate, I will just do that. ये भी हमें नहीं करना. अपनी तरफ से क्या पढ़ेंगे वो भी नहीं करना. And then they say, how will my answer fetch me marks? Brainstorming वो भी नहीं करना है. जब करना ही नहीं. When you don't want to do anything, why are you wasting time here? Let's bring integrity. Let's do something. So for people who are understanding and learning, can I say earthquake and tsunami? These are tecto-volcanic hazards. Tecto-volcanic hazards which can turn into disasters. Nature is doing that or not? Flood and drought. Flood and drought. Yes. Now the idea is flood always natural? Is flood always natural? Is flood caused only by nature? Everyone? No, that is also not true. That is also not true. So can there be certain hazards which are mixed hazards, man-made and natural hazards? Can it be that human beings have aggravated the intensity of hazard? Possible. Vulnerability of hazard. So now the thing is, when I was a student, when a teacher is talking to me like this, I would jot down these things. I would write a sentence. Yes, there can be mixed disasters. Yes, human beings can intensify those disasters. I think that is called note making. अब वो भी नहीं है. When dictation, then only. And then dictation, we will vomit. And then you please check. नाम के आगे लिख लेता हूँ भाई. बहुत clear. एक answer, दो answer, you get to know who's just misusing the platform, misusing the opportunity. Very clearly out. I'm saying not many are giving you this opportunity of making you write and then discussion and something of that sort. Very, very clear on that. It is not a good idea to do that to a teacher. But Manje say, and I started with this. I'm very inspired with reading all those things. You don't even read what others are doing. You are a superhero or what? And then one fellow writes, notes nahi likhwa raha, dictation nahi de raha hai. So very clear. Do you know how to write notes, everyone? Did you write it in schools? I said natural disasters are there, man-made disasters are there. and there is mediated. I, from my school days, know how to write notes when the teacher is talking, and I do that in a way like in offline class only. Just to make the online classes as effective as on offline, I created that group. उसमें कई अपने आके सब्सक्रिप्शन बेच रहे हैं, माई सब्सक्रिप्शन प्लीज बाय, हु इज अ गुड टीचर, वन फेलो सेज दिस इज अ गुड टीचर, अदर फेलो लव्स ऑन दैट, चल रहा है। आधे लोग मोहब्बत कर रहे हैं उसमें, कोई टेंशन नहीं, बिकॉज देयर आर सीरियस स्टूडेंट्स। इतनी भीड़ में एक तो सीरियस मिलता है, तो वर्क ऑन दैट। इफ यू आर इनटू दैट, प्लीज वर्क ऑन दैट। एंड आई होप यू आर राइटिंग आल्सो। एंड दीस क्वेश्चंस सर, स्लाइड, पता है ये स्लाइड बनाने में कितना टाइम लगता है सर? हाउ विल आई रीड दिस स्लाइड? कैन आई रीड ओनली द रेड वंस? इमेजिन, इमेजिन एनीवन इमेजिन वेयर वुड यू गेट दिस स्लाइड्स? ये कल बैठ के बनाया, बैठ के बनाया, सब कुछ सोचा कि I'll have a discussion with everyone on this, and what you get in the class is, so do you want to read the whole slide? एक मिनट स्क्रॉल अप तो कर लूं, कौन है पता तो रहे यार, कौन है टाइम पास कर रहा है। ये नाम नहीं लिख पाते ना, if next time we get trapped, every time we get trapped, the teachers. क्या कहे और अभी वो नहीं है, कौन? कनकन। I feel sir is getting frustrated. Yes, Kankan is there also. So disaster caused by human activities. This is what is disaster. Disaster in teaching is this. एक बात बताओ, there are so many people who are teaching geography option. There are so many people who are giving dictations. Why come here? I'm sure you're looking for results. And for results, I have said on day one, and people who are talking about this, I'm very sure they have not attended the course orientation and blueprint. वो class किया ही नहीं है। जिसमें I have a full invitation that you are coming 100%, I am coming 100%. Get that? So I hope you're writing notes, and I will not get into that. So that's all we are going to do in this. Natural disasters, man-made disasters. Disasters caused by human activities. Human activities. Fire is a disaster. Accidents, road, rail, air is a disaster. You've heard of aircraft crashes? Yes or no? Big disasters. Industrial accidents and epidemics. Epidemics are big disasters. Yes or no? If I say COVID fourth wave, is it a hazard or not? If it goes beyond our control, what will it turn into? It will turn into a disaster. True. Epidemics, industrial accidents are no less sudden than natural disasters and may be equally devastating. So man-made disasters, in fact, we live, again, making the answer geographical, we can very well say that we are living in Anthropocene. We are living in Anthropocene. All the disasters which we are saying are largely man-mediated. Can you use this phrase, man-mediated disasters? Can we use this phrase, man-mediated disasters? I don't know whether China is to be blamed or not, for COVID or not. But do we see that so many zoonotic diseases from living organisms are being transferred? They are jumping the species barrier. Because of human beings. True or not? So when we have a question on disasters and hazards, this is where the philosophy comes. This is where the answer can be given the depth of an optional subject. Do we get that? And when these disasters keep on happening, this will lead to enormous loss of life and property. Can I show this on a map? Disasters in the world, disasters across the world. Do you need the data? I don't know whether you need the data or not, but I will show you how things are. अच्छा, एक और interesting map हो सकता है. Vulnerability map. Another way in which we can make the answer geographical. Vulnerability map. Which areas are more vulnerable? So tell me, is Delhi more vulnerable to tsunami or Chennai? So Chennai will come into vulnerability to tsunami. That is Chennai. Okay. And if I ask you that who's more vulnerable to heat waves, Delhi or Chennai? Now the answer would be Delhi. So can we create vulnerability map and then start plotting them? Answer क्या बन जाएगा? एकदम से बनेगा geographical. Will it become or not? That's what we're talking about. Natural disaster, and when they're doing a lot of loss, life and property loss, they cannot be prevented. Natural disasters cannot be prevented, but their damage, that impact can be reduced. True or not? How? Better forecast, preparedness and rescue. So have you heard of pre-disaster, post-disaster? Now that part I will not be doing in paper 1, because we need to look at disasters in chapter number 10 of paper 2. Chapter 10, paper 2, there I will be doing them. But as of now, I'm not doing the disaster management exercise in this. Why am I talking about this? Because of the syllabus. What does the syllabus say? Environment hazard, remedial measures. So disaster management of paper 2. There we will be looking at. So then in paper 1, we will be talking about general principles. General principles is there. So you will forecast and be prepared. Can I say pre-disaster? The disaster cycle, which I will be talking about that also. And effective rescue and relief, that is post-disaster. And then there's certain steps during disaster also. Yes, sir. In fact, rescue is during disaster, post is rehabilitation of that and bringing things to order. In fact, if we want to prepare ourselves, we must be prepared for multiple hazard prevention. It cannot be just one, it has to be multiple hazard prevention, response, and recovery plans. Is everyone okay? Multiple hazard prevention, response, and recovery plans for natural hazards so that threat to human life and property is minimized. Is everyone okay? Let us look at this. Some of the disasters which you can show in the world. So Chernobyl is in Russia. Up to Ukraine, लिख दूं. Ukraine. Similarly, in Japan, we have a famous disaster which is called the Tokaimura nuclear power plant. When we are talking about nuclear disasters, they are man also and they are nature also. Say, for example, Chernobyl, the system stopped working. Tokaimura, this person called Hisashi Auchi and two more assistants. Yes, they were looking at the nuclear fuel and by mistake they mixed extra amount and the uranium went critical there itself. Get that? True. So Chernobyl and this thing. So when we are saying Purvi is saying Hiroshima, man-made disaster. Purvi, then so every war is a man-made disaster. Every war is a man-made disaster. Why only Hiroshima? I'm saying all. So what we are talking about is when will the war erupt? That depends on the maturity of the people also. That depends on the maturity of the people also. Are you with me on this? So that is what I want everyone to keep in mind, that when we are talking about all these ideas, so can we plot Ukraine and Japan on a map? Dono nuclear disaster scale. Dono nuclear disaster scale. Can I say this is a chemical disaster? A chemical disaster. Two disasters. Yes, two disasters. A chemical company by mistake, by accident, the chemical is released. Yes, methyl isocyanide is released in this. Love Canal, I want to tell you, is a dumping ground. This used to be a waste dumping ground. Where? Near Niagara Falls in New York. 21,000 tons of caustic, alkaline, fatty acids, chlorinated hydrocarbons, all these used to be dumped by a company called Hooker Chemical Company. So this land was not for use, not for any other use, no building purposes and everything. But as human population kept on increasing, yes, people wanted to use this land. A school approached that they wanted to use this land. So the company said, no, this is waste dumping, we'll not sell it. But over a period of time, the pressure kept on building and they sold it. And when developmental activities were happening, suddenly all those chemical waste started getting released. Get that? And it became a public health emergency. Do you have examples? Love Canal, Bhopal gas tragedy, Ukraine. The war is over between Kuwait and Iraq because US has mediated. But Iraqi forces, when they were leaving, when they were evacuating Kuwait, they put everything to fire. जाते जाते सबको आग लगा के गया. So the question comes on hazards. Do we have something from West Asia? Do we have something from East Asia? Do we have something from North Asia? Do we have something from South Asia? True. Asia done. सिर्फ Asia ले सकते हो. I have given from the developed world also, North America also. Get that? A famous example for which we get many questions, Minamata disease. Yes, this is Japan. This is Japan. So इधर Minamata होता है and इधर Minamata होता है. True. Minamata Bay. Where is Minamata Bay? Here it is Minamata Bay. So what is happening? There are the plants. There are the mercury plants, and they are releasing mercury into the water. What happens to the mercury? Mercury gets bioaccumulated into the food chain. First, we thought that the amount of mercury that is being released is hardly going to impact. Yes, but because of that, because of all that mercury, bioaccumulation happened. What is bioaccumulation? What is bioaccumulation? Quickly. Remember ecological pyramids? Everyone? Accumulation of pollutant in an organism is not bioaccumulation. Bioaccumulation क्या है ये बताइए. Priyanshu is saying fertilizer deposit is bioaccumulation. No, that is not bioaccumulation. फिर कुछ भी लिख देते हैं और उसके बाद बोलते हैं कि सिर्फ अंडरलाइन पढ़ लें तो कैसे चलेगा. Entry of pollutant into food chain is not bioaccumulation. That is entry. What is bioaccumulation? Everyone. So generally, when we are talking about energy keeps on reducing. Remember 10% in terrestrial food chains. True or not? So lower tier, lowest level has maximum and top has minimum. Do we get that? So as one moves across trophic levels, higher trophic levels have less energy. This is called energy pyramid. Is everyone okay? This is called energy pyramid. As we go higher up, the energy reduces. Are you with me on this, everyone? Is everyone with me on this? Now I want to tell you, similar things happens with biomass. The biomass of grass, the biomass of deer, and the biomass of tiger. What is biomass? the amount, the weight, the biotic material that they have, does it also reduce or not? Yeah, it is generally seen that as we go higher up in the trophic level, because the energy is less, the number of or the size of the population of a particular tier trophic level is reduced as we move on top. Do we get that? Now, when we were studying wastes in our body, we found a special situation. Say, for example, let us talk about Minamata only. So there is a factory, and which is releasing its effluents in water. Get that? And here, what do we have on the coast? In the water, we have seagrass. Do we get that? Seagrass can be there, or there can be plants. Have you heard of phytoplankton? So they are making food. So plant or phytoplankton. Phytoplankton is eaten by zooplankton. Zooplankton is eaten by fish. Fish is eaten by human. Let us look at the energetics of it. Is everyone clear? The energy reduces. Perfect. Now what is happening is mercury is reaching there. No problem. Who will have maximum mercury? Direct mercury. Who will have maximum mercury? Phytoplankton. So phytoplankton should have maximum mercury. Now X is phytoplankton, Y is zooplankton, Z is fish, and A is human. Do we get that? Ideally, A should be less, Z, Y, and X. If I talk in terms of energy, true or not? If I talk in terms of energy, A should have the least energy. Now, when people started dying or starting having all those symptoms of mercury poisoning, the researchers went into the area to look for mercury, and they found trace amounts. So mercury in the water is trace amount, but in the human body, it is significant amount. Now that was a problem. How is something which is trace amount in the water in the human body? It was there. So when they studied, they found that most of the waste in our body are excreted out. Or secretions. See, I am living in a city and I am inhaling a lot of toxic pollutants. Do I have pollutants all around me or not? Yes. I am eating food. In the food itself, there are many chemicals for the preservatives. True or not? Is my body going to use them? Not necessary. True. So can I ingest a lot of toxins every day? Am I dying? I might die. They tell me that air pollution is the biggest killer. But what is keeping me going is water. Water flushes everything and I excrete water. Do you get that? Just one example how our body gets rid of the toxic or undesirable wastes. Is everyone okay? Now I want to tell you, there are certain wastes which are non-water soluble. Do we get that? They have entered my body. Water cannot dissolve them. So will they come out of my body now or not? No. Now they will stay in my body for long. Do we get that? This is called bioaccumulation. True. This is bioaccumulation. First of all, simple thing, what is bioaccumulation? It is not fertilizer or anything, a toxin that is going to stay for long in my body, which cannot be through a normal process excreted out of my body. That is called bioaccumulation. Is everyone comfortable with the word and the idea called bioaccumulation? Everyone with me on this? Quick question है तो पूछो. Okay. Now what will happen is bioaccumulation 1, bioaccumulation 2, bioaccumulation 3, bioaccumulation 4. So the trace amount is seen in phytoplankton. Zooplankton is taking from a lot of phytoplankton. Will B2 be more than B1? Will B3 will be more than B2? And will B4 be more than B3? Do it. So because of bioaccumulation, as I go up in the trophic levels, what will happen? The concentration will increase. That is called biomagnification. Bioaccumulation leads to biomagnification. Is everyone clear about it? Any question, please ask. If you have any question, please ask. Bioaccumulation, biomagnification. Are we clear? So it is not just chemical fertilizer. Things which are pollutants, chemicals which have a tendency to bioaccumulate, those are generally called as POPs. Persistent organic pollutants. Do we get that? DDT is one of them. Heard of DDT? Many insecticides, we are looking at that. They can go and this thing. Certain heavy metals, industries releasing them, they will also come and deposit in our body. Do we get that? Another reason why vegetarianism or probably eating a producer is far less toxic than eating a top level consumer. Is everyone okay with that? So did we understand bioaccumulation, Minamata? How they could see a river, was carrying all this, and the people in the vicinity having these degenerative diseases which are caused because of excess mercury in our body. Disaster. Minamata disaster happened in the Minamata Bay of Japan. Minamata Bay of Japan. Is everyone with me on this? And the earth cried in the Seveso dioxin cloud. This is called the Italian Hiroshima. Get that? There is a company, Seveso company, in Italy. Get that? Leak happens. Leak turns into a cloud, a big white cloud on the city. City has houses, city has schools, everything is there. And then the cloud begins to descend. The whole city, every place has got a white powder on it. Every place has got a white powder in it, and even plants and animals, they are covered, even agricultural area, they are covered with that powder. Do you get that? What has happened? This is just an accident. Just an accident where a lot of chemical has come. Now, what would the people do? What would the people do? People didn't know what to do. They continue to live normally. They continue to even consume these fruits, vegetables, and walk to the school and everything. And soon we find that most of them contracting very many disorders of skin, inhalation, lungs because of dioxin poisoning. So this is called Seveso dioxin. Another man-made hazard which has become a reality because of development nowadays is what? Another very big man-made hazard which has become a reality is oil spill. One of the worst oil spills that happened was Exxon Valdez in Alaska. I told you, remember, US passed which act from this? OPA Act, Oil Pollution Act. Remember this? OPA 90. So Oil Pollution Act was passed in USA. This ship collided with a rock near Alaska where nobody's living. Sound and hit submerged rock and spilled all that oil. So these are developed world. Europe, you have an example of Europe also. You have an example of America also, North America. Do we get that? Is everyone clear? So we're going to talk about, when we're talking about disasters or hazards, we're going to talk about there are natural hazards and there are man-made hazards. Most of the hazards today are man-mediated. Is everyone clear with that? Most of the hazards in the world today are man-mediated. Done? What should be done? This slide, you can use this slide, most of it for answer for paper 1. You can very well use this. Most of the things can be answered from here. Everyone with me on this? You have samples also, you have things also coming for you. And now I want to go to India, though we will be talking in detail about India, but through India, the information which we have, that also can be used. India disaster proneness. Indian subcontinent is highly prone to natural disasters. Flood, drought, cyclone, earthquake. So we did not mention cyclone anywhere. यहाँ पे नहीं डाला था अपने लिस्ट में, तो natural में cyclone भी डाल सकता है. True. Cyclone. Can I put a category which is called hydrometeorological hazards? Chalega? Is a cloudburst a hazard? Hydrometeorological hazard, put a category on that. So we have tectovolcanic hazard, we have hydrometeorological hazards. Yes, we have lithogenic hazards. What are lithogenic? Yeah, geogenic hazard. कोई बता सकता है what will be a geogenic hazard? Geogenic hazard. What is geogenic? What is geogenic hazard? Related with lithospheric. Some example. Geogenic is not volcanic. Anirban वो वहीं पर है. Volcanic तो यहाँ पर आ गया tectovolcanic. Geogenic hazard. There can be leaks of chemicals or polluted water within the rocks. Geological. These are geological. Saida. Geogenic की तो tectovolcanic में आ जाएगा ना. Secondary hazard will be there. Earthquake का secondary hazard is a landslide hazard. Suppose, have you heard of West Bengal having problem of fluoride in water, arsenic in water, even uranium in water? What is happening? Rocks are there, and excessive rainfall leads to geogenic leaching, and this reaches where? Ground water. Everyone just trying to capture the world of hazards. Is everyone okay? Are you comfortable? Are you understanding things? If any question, please ask. Okay then, what else do we do now? We are coming to India. Susceptibility to disaster is compounded by frequent occurrence of man-made disaster. Can I say man-mediated? Man mediation. Have you heard of Latour earthquake? Yes. They also tell us that these earthquakes are triggered by land use change. Land use change. What is land use change? इसको बोलते हैं sometimes dam induced seismicity. Dam induced seismicity. What would be dam induced seismicity, everyone? A dam is created. The weight of that dam creates pressure on the plate. Remember, plates are what? Rigid, brittle. Can they crack? So this will be called as dam induced. Super cyclone in Odisha. पुराना है अब तो normal हो गया ऐसे cyclones आना. Yes. Earthquake in Gujarat, the Bhuj earthquake. Tsunami in Tamil Nadu and Andhra Pradesh. These are big ones. True or not? And we have a lot of proneness, and this proneness is increasing. Proneness is progressively increasing. So when we are talking about disaster proneness of India, so can I say India is prone to both? India is prone to both natural and man-made disasters. Just like world, India is also prone to both natural and man-made disasters. Natural, you have the list with you now. Everyone, can we do that? Man-made also we have. We are saying that this proneness is increasing. What is happening? This proneness is increasing. Why is it increasing, everyone? Why is the proneness increasing? Climate change. Why only climate change, Mega? Anthropocene. Anthropocene, ये word use करना शुरू करो. I am making a dam. That is not climate change, no. I am making roads. I am blasting the mountains, creating roads over there. Anthropocene. Human. I am saying anthropocentric development. Anthropocentric development. Lack of ecocentric approach. Anthropocentric development and lack of ecocentric approach. If you can do that, the job is done. Is everyone with me on this? Clear? If you have any question, please ask. If you have any question, please ask. Do we get that? Anthropocene. यूज करिए इसको दबाकर. चलिए. अब एक map. Now people ask me, sir, how is it possible? So this is showing multiple hazards of India, and through this we can think of world also. Say for example, these are cyclone hazards, cyclone hazard zones, earthquake hazard zones, flood hazard zones. True. So but I am not able to see what are they. कैसे पता चलेगा? The color codes. These are the color codes. So they are very difficult. Yes or no? कोई बात नहीं. कैसे बना लेंगे? Flood hazard zone, earthquake zone. Get that? Simple. I have got one is a confused one also. You will find so many sources. So what I'm trying to tell you is that we can make our own maps right now. So everyone, this dark one is called the zone 5, the most dangerous. So can we see Jammu and Kashmir? Yes, we're talking about, now it is UT, but the map is an old one. So this is the whole state of Jammu and Kashmir we are looking at. Yes. Then we have Himachal Pradesh. Yes. Then we have this thing. Can I say the Himalayan belt? Himalayan belt. Number 5. This is where earthquake came, the Bhuj earthquake. So when we are talking about Bhuj earthquake, वहाँ पे क्या हो गया? So what happened in the Bhuj earthquake, everyone? What happened in the Bhuj earthquake? There was a fault line. There was a fault line which got activated. That is called the Allah Band fault line. What is that called? Allah Band fault line. It is a fault line that got activated over there. Is everyone with me on this? And one more, when we are talking about, do we have the top earthquake zones for India? Next is this. So can I say the entire Himalayan belt, including the foothills, they are next? Can you see surrounding this is this area? Okay. Mumbai ke paas ye area. Do we have this? Third area, fourth area, fifth area, and the planners when they are planning for something. Say for example, I have to have a nuclear power plant. इधर लगा दो समझ में आता है. Do we get that? We are looking at West Bengal having a nuclear power plant. Have you heard of Paripura? They are proposing that. आपने इसका सुना है? कौन सा महाराष्ट्र में जैतापुर पे controversy. We are talking about that. So people's awareness when we are talking about. मैं ये नहीं पूछ रहा निर्माण कहाँ पर वो है. But we are talking about उत्तर प्रदेश में हमने जो बात किया उत्तर प्रदेश में. Have you heard of Narora plant? Have you heard of Narora? So what we are looking at is can there be decision making based on this? अच्छा, flood का देख लेते. कहाँ पे flood? Mostly Ganga river, Brahmaputra delta. Where is the flood proneness? Gujarat plain. Why? Cyclone hits here. Cyclone hits here. Arabian Sea branch comes here. Yes. East coast, which hazard? Cyclone hazard or not? That's also going to be there. True. So now, if I know this, can I draw a map of India? Can I say earthquake hazard in this area? Earthquake, landslide possible. I would also like to include some parts of this Western Ghat. Earthquake, landslide. Landslide is possible or not? Landslide. If not earthquake, then landslide. And this is what? Andaman and Nicobar. Earthquake and landslide. Is everyone okay? Let me look at the cyclone one now. True. Can I say this area? Odisha area. The delta. And these Gujarat plains. Cyclone hazards. Cyclone. I'm just thinking aloud and working with you that whatever is coming to my mind, I'm trying to make it. Is everyone with me on this? Where is the flood hazard? This river. Get that? Its tributaries. Flood hazard, everyone? Can I say some places here, flood hazards? Here. Rivers we are talking about. Coastal area also has flood hazards. Can I say this is flood hazard? Here also. Where is drought hazard? Drought. What are these? Semi-arid areas. Semi-arid. Earthquake, I forgot the Bhuj part of it. So earthquake. Is everyone okay? So drought, flood, earthquake, cyclone, and even volcano can come in places where tectonic boundaries are there, not for India. True. Everyone, can a similar map be created for the world? Can a similar map be created for the world? ये hazard दिखा सकते हैं. Now comes the question, sir. Where will fire happen? Everyone, can I make Delhi? Fire possible. Mumbai में fire हुआ है. Can I say Mumbai cities? इधर हो सकता है. Can it happen? Can we make cities? Cities may, can we do that? City as for urban disasters. If you want to add, you can add certain cases of cloudburst. Can I put these arrows? What is this? Desertification. Possible. Hazard, vulnerability, and just because we are talking, did we get that? तो यहाँ पे cloudburst होगा, तो low lying Srinagar valley में flood आ जाता है कि नहीं? Flood. What do we call them? Urban flash floods. Srinagar. चंडीगढ़. Yes. Even Jaipur में भी हो गया. Jaipur, Jaisalmer में भी हो जाता. True. Desert, I told you, the pan is created. There also can be there. Urban flash floods. Possible. Oil spill कहाँ हो सकता है? East coast में इधर oil spill हुआ. Otherwise, example बना देना वहाँ पर. Remember Gulf of Mexico, the deep horizon. Gulf of Mexico, deep horizon. You can make it there also. Everyone with me on this? Are we clear? Can I give you a homework? Do the same thing for the world. If you have doubt, let me give you an example. Content here. So a CAG report came, 2013, National Disaster Management Authority CAG report. Yes, under the Disaster Management Act, despite ineffective in most of the care areas. So it says that the planning was found ineffective, most of the time ineffective. Only 5 states and a union territory had submitted for forest fire management plan. So forest fire we have not added, we can add forest fire to that also. Yes. So what we are talking about is the report says the prospects, other than those of the stated guidelines, they are missing many places. Human impact has led to many deaths in that. Yeah, that कौन से disasters हैं वो देख लेते हैं जरा. Let us look at what disasters they are talking about. They are talking about heat waves. World के. India's share in the death worldwide is 32% disaster. That was data in 2013. India's share people affected 17%. India's share economic losses 2%. India's share people killed 5%. Sir, ये तो data change हो गया, absolutely change हो गया. What has happened to India's share? Has it increased or reduced? Increased. Because India is it is the 7th most vulnerable country to disasters. True or not? Major disasters: Gujarat earthquake, tsunami, Kosi flood, drought, flood, and I'm saying the cyclones. There is no end to it. There is no end to it or not? So what we are looking at is there are many challenges which are there in front of us. They keep on coming, and we need to learn to deal with them. अच्छा, world में if you want, China में floods भी है. यहाँ पर क्या करेंगे? यहाँ पर epidemic. Will we put epidemic or not? Japan में heat waves. Remember, Canada also heat waves. UK also heat waves. Now you know from climatology what happens. Jet stream. Remember, jet stream is doing that, hot and cold. Philippines tropical cyclone. अपने में भी आएगा tropical cyclone. India heat wave and cyclone. India heat wave, cold wave, and floods. Recently, I was teaching my students in current affairs that recent studies show that cold waves have been bigger killer in India than hot waves. Cold waves have been bigger killer in India than hot waves. So everyone, can I add here cold waves, heat waves, epidemics? Can I add here man-made also epidemics? Can I say man-made epidemics are there? Yes. Forest fire. So forest fire is man-made or natural? Well, both of them are there. Forest fire. Apart from what we have already looked at, flood, drought, geogenic, lithogenic, hydro, what did we say? Cloud burst उसी में आ जाएगा. तो इसमें हमने क्या लिखा था? Tectovolcanic. Number 1. Then we said geogenic, hydro, meteorological. These are the categories. And then we added to them cold wave, heat wave, epidemics, forest fires. Yes. Flood, drought, earthquake, volcano. Earthquake से secondary भी आएगा. Landslides will also be a part of that. Either what we are saying, cold wave, hot wave, epidemics, and this thing. Man-made में we saw fire, we saw pollution, toxic pollution, oil spills, accident, waste dumping, epidemics, forest fire. Now tell me, can you deal with hazards and the answer related to hazards? Everyone, are you comfortable with that? Hazard and the answer related to hazard. Do you have sufficient examples? How will we make it geographical? The philosophy will help us make it geographical. Get that? Philosophy. You want to add more to it? More power चाहिए आपको? 2 वर्ड दे रहा हूँ, यूज करिएगा. चलेगा? Sounds geographical. Anthropocene in development, man knows no limit. However, environmental disasters or environmental hazards about to turn into disasters offer a limit to human growth. Make sense? एक और phrase दे देता हूँ to become geographical in your answer. Malthusian collapse will happen when our population is far exceeding our demand. Malthusian collapse. Environmental education can make people aware about their ecological debt. ये language को use नहीं करते हैं. So what is this called? This is called jargon. Another way to make your answer sound more optional is use the jargon. It is advised not to use technical jargon in GS answers. But here I am advising you to do this. Does it make sense, everyone? Make sense or not? With me on this. If any questions, please ask. Environmental hazards and disasters. Now tell me, a question comes, ecological imbalances, 2018. Explain the natural and anthropogenic causes and mitigating measures for frequent flooding in Mumbai. First, can we talk about the natural causes? What are the natural causes? What are the natural causes? Floods in Mumbai. What are the natural causes? Drainage, पानी बाहर जाना चाहिए. They have meaty river. Urban drainage is improper and the river is polluted. Drainage system, when the drainage system collapses, when the rain happens, the water is not taken out. Is that a natural cause? Flood is excess of water. So your river is flowing, your drainage is not proper, and because of that it can happen. Can I say heavy seasonal rain with cyclonic influence? Is that a natural cause? Monsoonal rain, ऐसा तो नहीं है ना सारे टाइम पे फ्लड होता है, मानसून के टाइम पे होता है ना, heavy seasonal rain, that is also going to happen, so that will also create a problem. With me on this. Third thing is climate change leading to abnormal rain, which happened in 2021, Satara district. Met department had never thought of that. कितना ज़्यादा वो होगा. High instability, very high order atmospheric instability. Climate change is adding to that. So first of all, water will come. You are not able to take it out. That is why it is happening, and this is that. True. और एक जनरल चीज बता देता हूँ, concretization and reclaiming of wetlands. Remember, wetlands are sponges of the city. हमने वो भी कर लिया. Concretization, so water does not soak down, and this is there. Do we have natural and anthropogenic causes? Everyone. एक और ऐड कर दे, less prone but cyclones. यहाँ पर हमने ब्रैकेट में लिखा cyclonic influence, but sometimes cyclones can be created when they recur. They will hit here also. With me on this. Controlling population growth is the sustainable solution to environmental problem. Can I say here what will I use? Remember Edward Ackerman and Malthus. Will it make my answer geographical? Will it make my answer geographical? That can be. अच्छा, mitigating measures तो आपने बताया नहीं सर. Mitigating measures, the problems have the solutions. Though when I'm doing Indian geography, there I will be doing it. ये मैंने ऐसे questions वहाँ पे डाल दिए. For example, give a reasoned account of how the impact of global warming differs from one part to another. So remember, polar areas, their growing season is becoming bigger. Growing season becomes bigger, then what happens? They can grow for long, their crops might improve, yes. But for the tropical areas, big problem. On top, permafrost melt and methane release, that's another problem. Many things are happening or not. So that is what we are talking about. So things will keep on changing, and if you are comfortable and looking at thinking and linking, your job will be done. Discuss about environmental education. Discuss the objectives and principles of environmental education. So people have talked about the process. Did we look at the objectives? Objective क्या है? So we have looked at, आप सही आंसर देखिए, उसमें फ्लो चार्ट बने हुए, you can use that user flow chart over there. But in the context, can I say that you know, we live in a world where awareness about environmental concerns is low. Yes, in that context, and an ecocentric approach calls for environmental education, which has the following objectives. Describe the basic concerns of formal and non-formal environmental education. तो आपने देखा formal school, NCERT का curriculum था, non-formal में कौन आ रहा है? NGOs आ रहा है. Yes, we have written at NGOs also, and I also want to say the traditional education system, traditional old means of this thing. So वो भी आपको मिल गया. The content is there. Are you going to make a difference or not? अच्छा, इसी में जब हम formal और non-formal की बात करते हैं, if you start talking about top down and bottom up decentralized, ठीक है? Geography में आपको पढ़ाएंगे, Indian geography में multi level planning. So environmental education should be at different tiers. Different tiers, that is what we are talking about. And I also want to tell you non-formal. Non-formal can be in their mother tongues. Non-formal can be in their mother tongues. Non-formal can also be regional issues brought to them. True. So what is the basic concern? The lack of it is the basic concern. The challenges, these are the challenges which are going to come. ये सारे आएंगे किससे? Brainstorming से आएंगे. Brainstorming से आएंगे. Now you want कि इसका आंसर जो है मैं dictate करा दिया जाए. You want, and this question will not come. So what will happen? Whatever is dictated, you are going to copy paste it and then say something about it. So मैं क्या बोलूं? Big challenge or not? Do we get that? Principles of ecological adaptation is more or less everything done in this remedial measures, as I told you here. And biodiversity, I have some commitment today, so I want everyone to. Can we skip biodiversity as a chapter in this as of now? They are very well covered in my GS lectures. Yes, 2-3 lectures have been there. So many of you are already attending the GS lectures also. For you, it will be repetition. What is biodiversity? There are 3 types of biodiversity: alpha, beta, gamma biodiversity. Biodiversity is high at equator. When we go towards pole, the biodiversity reduces. There are 17 mega biodiverse countries in the world. India is one of them. True. There are 35 biodiversity hotspots in the world. In the world, biodiversity is going down. For that, we have something called as Convention on Biodiversity. Convention on Biodiversity is a law. It has protocols. What are the protocols? Cartagena Protocol is the biosafety protocol. Nagoya Protocol is the protocol on access benefit sharing. The world was working on a set of targets which are called Aichi targets to conserve biodiversity. Aichi targets. This was to be achieved by 2020, but the world seems to have failed in it. because the world has failed in Aichi targets, because the world has failed in Aichi targets. Therefore, we are looking at a new set of targets. Where are we going to get that set of targets? Kunming, China conference में. Kunming में पता चलेगा. Kunming targets. We are planning an action plan for 2030. तो ये सारी चीजें मैंने बात किया है. फिर से बात करने का. I want to limit that, but if you want, I will attach that in some other class. The questions are more India-centric in this. They are less world-centric. More India-centric. So they're done more in paper. Is everyone with me on this? So as of now, I'm planning to skip this, and I want you to consolidate whatever has happened in environment. I want you to look at the previous year questions also. This is one place where I had given you some samples of previous year questions. Please go through them. Please think about them. Please see if you're facing any challenge. I would like to discuss them tomorrow also. Tomorrow we are coming back to oceanography. Yes, tomorrow we are coming back to oceanography. Where were we in the oceanography? हमने ocean currents कर लिए थे. Did we do ocean currents? Yes or no? Now we will be going into ocean salinity, ocean temperatures. Yes, we'll be looking at the thermohaline circulations in tomorrow's class, and we have higher topics in that. Ocean heat budget is there. I think tides and waves have not been done, so tides and waves will also be done. We have not done coral reefs either. Coral भी नहीं किया, coral भी करेंगे, ठीक है? So if you are thinking that these advanced ones, for these advanced classes of oceanography, you need to do those basic ones, not necessary. Oceanography, if you have not done that, you can do it from tomorrow's class also. But then the fact is, the vocabulary of the subject of oceanography, those terms, you need to do them. So I would want you to do them if you have joined us late in the course. Is everyone okay? So कल इस पर कुछ काम करना शुरू करेंगे. Whatever PYQs are there. And I have a request. अगर आप अटेंड कर सकते हैं तो मॉर्निंग का या रिकॉर्डेड सेशन ऑफ एनवायरनमेंट जीएस जरूर करिए. आई गेट 25 क्लासेस ओवर देयर. पोल्यूशन पे बात करूंगा तो उसमें नॉइज पोल्यूशन, एयर पोल्यूशन, वाटर पोल्यूशन, all pollutions will be there, soil pollution will be there, but here we are talking about nature in general. So that is what I'm saying, that if such questions are coming, generally they are very GS based. How will we make them this thing optional wise? As I told you, that we will have to bring in the optional jargon, those ideas of malthus, those ideas of carrying capacity, those ideas of ecological debt. Those things will make them sound more optional. Is everyone okay? And we will not do it artificially. We will not overdo them. We will not do it artificially and overdo them, but we will definitely try to bring it in our answers, the maturity and depth of an answer. And I want to tell you, when we go into human geography, अभी human geography शुरू नहीं किया, perspectives की class जो भी शुरू होने वाली है, you will get a lot of words and vocabulary which can be used in these answers to make them more geographical. जैसे मैं आपको बता रहा हूँ कि the environmentalism movement brought in the focus to environment education. So you don't know what is environmentalism, the changing meanings of environmentalism. So all these comes in perspective, so we'll be talking about them. But I've already given you some hints, so I'm very sure that some of you are looking at that and catching from those hints. That is what I want you to catch. Is everyone okay with this? Shall then, today I'm ending the class because I have some engagement. I'm cutting this class short, and I would want you to think about it, about this area. And how many of you cannot attend the class for GS? Please let me know. अगर नहीं भी कर सकते हैं, तो again telling you, you can watch the recordings. You can watch the recordings on comprehensive course on GS, environment and ecology. Topic डला हुआ उधर. There is a topic of that, and topic is biodiversity. Topic is biodiversity. Go and attend straight away biodiversity. There will be a topic on pollution. It's very, very simple. Pollution है, सीधा गए pollution किया, and that's it. So the saying, sir, will do the recording. Recordings will help you. And everyone, will it be very short-sighted? Everyone, will it be very short-sighted to think that 5 days on environment geography is enough? 5 classes on environment geography. There's so many things happening around you or not. So I'm saying 5 classes plus bonus 25 lectures are there for those factual things, for those contemporary things, for those case studies. So that is the intention where I'm inviting you to do that. Okay? So thank you. I'll see you tomorrow with oceanography. Bye-bye. Take care. Have a nice day.